that I'm going to be showing in my presentation as well. So let me share my screen first. Okay, so today I will be talking about civic education for future skills. And in this capacity, I am representing two organizations, one pan-European NGO and one local that is active in Croatia. But to start first with the pan-European one that Jan has already mentioned. So the Civics Innovation Hub is a transnational NGO for civic education with hubs in Bonn, Sofia, and Zagreb. And our mission is to enhance skills and competences of both citizens and civic educators in order to deal with global challenges. Before we go deeper into the topic, we wanted to firstly define civic education, as we are lacking a universal and commonly understood definition. In some places, it is known better as political education or education for democracy or citizenship education. But for our work, we have decided to stick with the term civic education, and we use quite a broad definition. When we talk about civic education, we do not talk only about political participation and voting. We are basing our definition on competences and on the wording of the Council of Europe, which says that civic education equips citizens with the competences that enable them to actively participate in society. And these competences include, as you can see, knowledge, skills, democratic values, and attitudes. And in the brackets, you can see some more specific examples that I will not go into detail right now. All in all, in our understanding, civic education encompasses also what the panelists before me have spoken about. So it encompasses digital literacy, climate literacy, gender awareness, and beyond. In other words, civic education, in our view, is more than working with people to motivate them to vote and participate in such a way in a democratic society, but it leads to a broad spectrum of civic competences that can be developed through the work of a civic educator. And just to illustrate this point, here we have grouped some civic competences, and please keep in mind that this is not an exhaustive list. This is just an example. So as an example, we include competences related to media literacy, to digital literacy, to climate literacy, and to civic engagement. And you can already see that there is some overlap in these groupings. And as you can probably infer yourself as well, the development of any of these competences can lead to increased civic engagement, which is also why we include them all in our definition of civic education. And just to quickly take a closer look into what the civic does exactly, I will not once again go into detail, not to take up too much time right now, but we have a wide range of programs and projects. One part of our projects is geared towards European civic educators, where we enhance networking through our NICI projects, through mapping civic education, through the Civic Innovation Fund. But on the other hand, we also not only work on this meta level with civic educators, we also engage other target groups, providing direct civic education activities. So with our Civic Scouts project, we provide civic education activities in companies. And with our Young Climate Professional projects, we work with young people and students to tackle issues of the climate crisis. So we have many topics that we cover, many activities, which we all consider to be civic education, as they are important for the development of our society. One program that I would like to dedicate special attention to is mapping civic education in Europe. So here you can actually scan this QR code or go to the website that is listed, where you can check out what we have created. This is a dynamic initiative which is continuously evolving by adding new countries to the first ever pan-European virtual map of civic educators. And so far, we have been able to reach out to civic education actors from 21 countries. And in 2023, we are adding 10 more. You can see more information on our webpage, but just to give you some information as to what this map is useful for. So for example, with this map, a civic educator from Finland can search for partners in Croatia that are working in a similar field. And not only does the mapping then foster networking, but it can also inform the work of large international and national civil society organizations, grant-making programs, networks, researchers, and academia. And just a little bit more info on this program. In our work, we have identified the topics that civic educators from these 21 European countries cover. We have identified their target groups and their cooperation with others. And we have also analyzed their needs to help inform the work of those supporting civil society in Europe. All of this was published beginning of this year in a publication that you can now see on screen. And just to share a little insight or a glimpse into the results that have been published, when asked what their main field of work is, not a lot of civic educators chose just one field. You can see here that their work ranges from civic engagement and participation, social inclusion, community building, all the way to culture and arts, history and remembrance, employability, etc. And now to narrow down this topic a little bit, when we talk about civic education in Croatia, the inclusion of civic education in the formal education system has been a controversial topic for some time now that I'm sure that other people from the Balkan area can relate to, as there has been political opposition to this. However, the nonprofit sector has been offering a variety of activities that do build up civic competences. And one of these nonprofit organizations is the NGO that I'm also representing today, which is Znanje na Djelu, which collaborates closely with the Civics Innovation Hub on various projects. And at Znanje na Djelu, our primary aim is to empower young people to make informed decisions about their own educational and professional future, and to thusly increase their own self-efficacy. And the main problem here that we seek to address, that has been mentioned previously in other presentations, is the gap between education and the world of work, which lies at the heart of Croatia's youth unemployability problem. And our aim is to ease this transition between two very different and important life stages for the young people who will be facing it. And when we talk about at Znanje na Djelu, when we talk about successful preparation for the labor market, we talk about a three-way process. Firstly, young people need to develop specific vocational competences and expertise, and this mostly, not all the time, but mostly happens through the formal education system. Secondly, young people need to develop transversal competences that were also mentioned in previous presentations, and these competences are universally needed on the labor market. We're talking about critical thinking, communication skills, problem solving, etc. And thirdly, young people also need to be given the opportunity to participate in career guidance activities, which should then give them accurate information about the labor market, inform them about the possibilities and opportunities of future employment, help them make informed decisions regarding their transition into work, and etc. In Znanje na Djelu, we actually focus on these two parts of the process by offering career guidance and labor market skills workshops, by organizing short internships in various companies and institutions. And to note again, we would consider this work to be civic education, as it helps young people take responsibility for their own future. And to conclude everything that I've been talking about, civic education, as we have defined it earlier in its broad sense, helps develop skills needed for addressing the challenges of the future. And it also helps boost civic engagement. So through civic education, we can develop social responsibility, we can boost active participation in democracy, we can also develop informed decision-making, resilience, and empowerment, basically all competences that make a person responsible and an active member of society. So with this, I will conclude my presentation for today.